Thank you for joining us for Weekdays Live with Reverend Al Sharpton. Take the time to share this broadcast right now. Tell your friends it's time to keep it real with Reverend Al. Comment your questions now in the chat or call Reverend Al Sharpton directly on air at 877-532-5797. Now stay tuned for Reverend Al.
This is Reverend Al Sharpton. As you watch the broadcast, support National Action Network. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net and be involved. You can join, take your membership right online, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Getting ready to start the program, but we need you to be part of the movement.
It's been a long time coming, but I know
1968, Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
But they can't kill the dreamer. Hey, what's up? They got, they're doing, thank you. They're doing, what's on your mind?
Yeah.
All right, then, we got a birthday this week. I got to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday this
Please.
weekend. And Carrie White's birthday, right?
Corey's birthday's today.
Yeah, and I got, tell, Reverend Bird be ready, Daniel 5th chapter, I want him to read. And, I'm ready. Got a message from today, so we'll be on the air in what, half hour?
About a half hour.
You should tune in to the WBLS 107.5 FM and National Impact and www.net.
It's Friday, February 6th. Do you know what time it is? It's Al Sharpton's time. And for the next 3 hours, it's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. A very good afternoon to you all across the country. Good morning to our West Coast listeners. Welcome to those listening on Sirius XM, Channel 126, The Urban View, where talk empowers and becomes action. I'm coming to you live from our National Action Network corporate headquarters in New York for the next 3 hours. It's Exhale Friday. Yes, Exhale Friday is when we let out all that's in our minds and our hearts, and we go in the weekend not have held anything back. And there's a lot to deal with this weekend, from deportation to where the vote is going to go in terms of whether they're going to have a shutdown or whether they can come to some kind of feasible and acceptable, and I don't know that they can, way of dealing with the question of ICE and the funding of ICE. And we still don't know where the Supreme Court is going to go on Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, and just everything going on. And let me say this: if I hope some of the Trumpsters, one or two of our listeners that call me trying to justify Trump, I hope they call the day for Exhale Friday. Because, I did Morning Joe for about 45 minutes this morning. And I brought it up there, and I'm doing Deadline White House on both on MS Now this afternoon. Because I want somebody to explain to me how we sitting in a country that there is not the whole Washington shut down, that a president would post a video of Barack and Michelle Obama as monkeys. I mean, you couldn't make this up. I don't know if Stonewall Jackson, who was the president of the Confederates, if he could have done anything more clear and bigoted than that. I mean, does the man have to call a press conference and use the N-word on primetime TV for y'all to understand? He is a bigot. He is a racist. How do you act like there's some justification for calling the former president and former first lady monkeys, which is what they call all black, or calling any black people monkeys? Even Tim Scott, the black Republican right-wing senator from South Carolina, even he had to come out and make a statement. A friend of mine close to the Obamas texted me and said, well, at least Scott spoke up. I said, well, a broke clock is right twice a day. I'll give him credit for that. He was right on this one. But I'm not surprised at Trump. I've been marching on Trump 35, 40 years from Central Park in 1990, his housing discrimination. What I am pointing out for is how much do we have to see before we get up off our rusty dusties in these midterms and take power from them by putting the Democrats in power. Not because they're Democrats, but because they're away from this foolishness. I'm the last one to say that the Democrats are some panacea. I am absolutely on their backs. I think they got much more out of us than we got out of them. But if I'm in a place on fire, I'll take a little water from anybody till I can get out of the fire. And this man is just telling you straight out where he is. Straight out. Let's take your call. It should have a lot of people on it on this XL Friday. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. And you can also go on the message board at nationalactionnetwork.net. Like Happiness Donuts is already on, saying they're attempting to take us off square, family. Stay focused. I'm more concerned about them trying to nationalize our election. I agree with that. Les Bird, the senior, is saying it's time for a reemergence of black power, black pride. Should have never went anywhere. You're absolutely right. And Henderson 2336 is saying that Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, launched her headquarters yesterday. Yeah, and I think y'all might be seeing her soon with Nan. I'm not dropping names at the convention, but y'all may be seeing her soon. Lot is going on. The question is, are you dropping out? Or at least telling yourself you dropping out, fooling yourself, because you in it, whether you think you in it or not. You in it. So you might as well get all the way in it, because whatever comes out of it is going to determine your health care. It's going to determine where you inhabit, your home, whether it be rent or mortgage. It's going to determine your job, your income, your taxes. You're in it. Anybody that tells you I'm not into that is telling a lie. You are in it. Period. Full stop. So let's talk about all of it because you are definitely in it. So I want to start with, the president and this racist depiction of the Obamas as monkeys. Then we're told that as the shutdown deadline looms and DHS stalls with talks, the talks are stalling. Congress is struggling to reach an agreement before the Department of Homeland Security funding expires on February 13th, and we're already at February 6th. They don't have long, but don't look like they got anything. Democrats are demanding limits on ICE and Border Patrol. I wish they get rid of ICE altogether, but at least they ought to have that. And I think that we need to really deal with how serious these times are. This is the first time in decades that whites feel emboldened to just do what they want in the name of white supremacy and challenge you to do something about it. And the few of us that stand up doing something about it, they're looking at us like we crazy. I'm telling you that anybody take this after all we've been through and let them just revert back to what it used to be, you must be out of your mind. And you're insulting your parents, your grandparents that paid a price for you to what? Get here and be called a monkey? And you were the president of the United States? They went to jail. Some went to the early grave to give you the right to vote, and you sitting around here talking about, well, I don't know, the Supreme Court do what they want to do. Ain't nothing we can do about it. They died. They could have lived into their senior years. They put it all on the line for some ungrateful people. Yes, that's right, ungrateful. It was handed to you. All you had to do was hold it. Let's take a break. It's Exhale Friday. 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back. Keeping it real. It is really a intersection of both emotions, because when I was 11 or 12 years old, so I watched the news a lot and I became enthralled with the image of Adam Clayton Powell. I was around 11 and I convinced my mother to let me come up to this church to see Adam Clayton Powell. And in those days, people in Brooklyn used to say it's dangerous to go to Harlem. And folk in Harlem used to say it's dangerous to go to Brooklyn. Now, to 135th Street, and I came, sat right back there, and Adam Clayton Powell walked down this platform. And I remember after the church, in those days, Johnson, the pastor's study was right inside with the plexiglass, and I knocked on the door and I told the secretary I wanted to meet Reverend Powell. She looked down this little 11-year-old boy. She said, "Really?" She said, "Who should I say?" I said, "Reverend Al Sharpton."
That power means dignity. Means we're gonna walk side by side with you, or through you. We're gonna be with dignity and integrity. We don't want any more than you have, and we're not gonna accept any less than you have. That's my power.
Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had a Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades.
Welcome back, everybody. My next guest is a TV and radio personality. He's an activist and the author of a new book, The Rejected Stone, Al Sharpton and the Path to American Leadership. Please welcome my friend, Reverend Al Sharpton. Ram, how you doing?
Good.
Oh, look at you. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are
Boy,
you?
you getting sharper and sharper.
No, I'm trying to be like you.
Man, I'm trying to get my weight together, man. You look good. How much weight have you lost?
All told, about 120 pounds.
That's been great, man. I'm gonna get into this book, but I gotta tell you, man, I really do appreciate your stand for the small man. I think it's the common man that has really connected with you over the years, and the common cause, I think, has been very, very effective.
Well, thank you. That's what my ministry is all about.
Yeah.
You have to know in life what your passion is, what gets you up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my passion. And I once you lose it, you should get out of it and do something else.
Right. Now, it's been 10 years since your last book. Why is this one really important to you at this point?
You know, people stop me all over wherever I'm traveling and say to me, "You've changed so much. You've gone radio now, TV every day. Your National Action Network has gotten formidable. You go to the White House, and you lost a lot of weight. How did you transform yourself? I want to go to the next level in my life." And I thought about it. I said, rather than just talk politics, I wanted to write a book about how anybody, any race, any religion, can transform themselves and go to the next step in life and not be afraid to do it, because you can do it.
Right.
And I'm a billboard of that.
Right, exactly. Just like me, Reverend Al Sharpton has some principles that he lives by, characteristics of being a leader. So what's the first principle that you say makes a person a leader?
You have to first decide where you're going. You know, most people never arrive because they don't have a destination. If you go to the airport, first thing you have to decide is where you're going. You can't even price the ticket, get through security nowhere if you're not going anywhere.
Right.
And we hang out in the airports of life. That's the first thing you have to do. Second, you can't be afraid to think big and be big. We all are born a certain race, certain, economic class. We put in categories. You got to think bigger than that. And lastly, be consistent and disciplined. And I think that discipline is something that a lot of people cannot apply, which robs them of their greatness. So in the book, I talk about how I learned. I give anecdotes. You know, I was very close with James Brown, the singer. He was like a father of mine. Right. Michael Jackson. I talk about my relationship with the president. And I talk about how I learned these things and different things from different people, right, because nobody gets big by accident. You have to do it by having a diligent plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's that thinking big part that stops a lot of people, because they see themselves in their environment only. You know, my mother, when I was small, used to bring home travel magazines. Mm-hmm. And my father didn't understand, why you buying those travel magazines? We ain't got no money to go to these places. She said, it's for Steve now, the kids, because I want them to see other places, because one day they will be able to go. And I saw Aruba. I was snorkeling in the Barrier Reef at 9. No money to get there, but it was them making me see it.
You know, the rejected stone comes from the Bible. The rejected stone to be the cornerstone. We've all been rejects, whether in our homes, whether in our jobs, whether in our life. And what I've learned is you can be the biggest reject in the world. Media used to demonize me. But if you learn to embrace and accept yourself, then soon the world will have to join your embrace. So I found I couldn't be somebody else. So I fell in love with Al Sharpton. I've been the president, chairman of the board, secretary, and only member of the Al Sharpton fan club. But we made it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got another fan in me, my friend, because you have taught me so many things, and you have come to my aid in some really dark moments. I thank you for your friendship.
Thank you.
And listen to me, folks. For more about his principles on leadership, all you got to do is pick up his new book. It's called The Rejected Stone. I think there's some information in there for anybody that's trying to make it, okay? Make sure you pick up a copy. We'll be right back. Reverend Al Sharpton, everybody.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. Just break. I believe that.
Good morning, everybody. I hope the coffee has kicked in by now. I want to start by thanking your leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton, and everyone at the National Action Network for 35 years of standing up for civil rights and opportunity for everyone.
And I couldn't be more grateful for the way that you have blessed the lives of so many, including mine.
As we look today on King Day, let us not forget that we had to struggle to even have this day. They did not wake up one morning and say, let's give a federal holiday to Martin Luther King. People petitioned, people marched. Let us remember now, as we bring our children and grandchildren up the Potomac, that they can see the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and one memorial that never served as president, but changed this country more than any other. Keeping it real. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
This was an amazing MLK breakfast.
It is truly Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. And let me go to the phones. I thought I saw Miss Eunice. But let me
hung up.
let me get your phone straight. Let me do my announcements while we getting our phone line straight. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Let me say by way of announcements, you really don't want to miss Politics Nation with Al Sharpton this weekend. I'm going to have on some of our people that are in positions of power to really tell us the real deal that is going on in terms of the vote in Washington. We have several members of Congress, including the new Congress person elected in Texas, Congressman Menifee. Menifee will be on. Congressman Espiat, head of the Latino caucus. I'm going to have on Jonathan Jackson, who did a prayer and appealing for the better angels of President Trump in his prayer yesterday at the prayer breakfast. Jonathan got more faith than me because Trump answered him last night by that racist post to show there's no better angels than me. I'm going to have on dealing with this serious redistricting attempt in Maryland. I'm going to have Governor Westmore on tomorrow. So watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MSNBC. And support it. It keeps our messages, our interpretations, our news out there. I'm reading today, in 1 week, we've seen these people cancel Sherry Shepherd's show. Now we are told they're going to cancel Jennifer is not Hollywood. I'm having a blank. Jennifer's show. And it is like they're just taking us off of the media. And a lot of it we do not support. And a lot of it is they want to change what is seen. Jennifer Hudson show, they're canceling both. We cannot end up being invisible in a nation that we built and sacrificed. And the reason we got on television in the first place is we stopped tolerating it for us not to be on. And here they've gone on step by step. How do you cancel Sherry Shepherd and Jennifer Hudson in the same week and messing with Gayle King? And we not say anything about it. They are listening to shows like this. They're testing to see what's going on, to see if there is a reaction. And they're looking at the ratings every show, see if there's an audience. Now, I try to get you to watch my show because I'm going to have on people like Westmore. I'm going to have people like members of Congress talk about why don't we have this situation straight, not only about ICE, but about our voting rights. So I'm not telling you support me just to support me. I'm dealing with issues that affect us. But if you don't support the shows, and I got one lady say, even if I'm not home, I turn my TV on and leave it on. And don't only support it to get ratings, please do that. Support it to get the information. So make sure you watch, and tell folks, you watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, every Saturday and Sunday. Try it. I know you got Super Bowl this Sunday. I go off 6 o'clock. I'm not messing with your Super Bowl. 5 to 6, we on. All right, make sure that you deal with that. And then, of course, I'm excited tomorrow as we kick off Black History Month in our temporary headquarters. We're doing the Saturday Action Rally in Harlem at the historic Mother AME Zion Church, 140 West 137th Street. between Lenox and 7th. We have moved out of the House of Justice, getting ready to move in several weeks to our new large headquarters. But we're going to be at Mother Amy Zion on Lenox Avenue, 137th Street, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. You that are not in the New York area, you can watch it live on Impact Television or at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And I still am warning you that the National Action Network Convention, I love that. Ladybug says, I preset my DVR for Politics Nation. That's what I want to hear. I love it. Chadu Man says, so sorry to hear that I love Jennifer Hudson's show. Unfortunately for all of those women. Sorry to hear about that. That's what I'm saying. We got to support what we got to support. Henderson says, I record and watch Politics Nation. Thank you, Henderson. Let me say the convention, I'm getting all kinds of confirmations now from leading speakers, elected officials, cultural figures, all gonna be there. If you wait and I close pre-registration and it's all free, you're gonna wish you had when I start dropping these names next week. They're gonna be there. Not because we use celebrity hunting, but because you're gonna want to hear from these people in person, up close. So register now at www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And we want you to register. If you can't go online, call in at 1-877-626-4651, 1-877-626-4651. And I'm going to get right back to it. But let me say this. Happiness Donuts is saying canceling Sherry and Jennifer shows, canceled the Steve Colbert late night show, arresting credible journalists and buying out CBS. The tech companies were at the inauguration, on and on. You going the right place. You are going the right place, no doubt about it. And I'm telling you, some of us are just sitting there like it's going to pass you by. And then when it gets to you, then you're going to want everybody to run around and do what you got to do. Somebody, Anthony, is saying to me, Reverend Al, who's winning the Super Bowl on Sunday? The owners. Robert Kraft, who owns the New England Patriots, they going to win. The owners. They're going to make gobs of money. We can't even get contracts. That's who's going to win, Anthony. Who won last year? Same owners. The players are interchangeable. The owners stay the same. All right, let me get ready to take a break. I'm coming back. Go to the phones. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back. Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had a Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades. Oh,
Rev, you know you were right there
from the beginning.
with the stuff that
Yep.
was going on in Brooklyn at that time at Howard Beach. You were right there.
He had in one of the early movies, he had my name. Then he put me in Malcolm, and I wasn't even old enough to know Malcolm. So we've been through it all.
For those who see Malcolm X, it's 3 hours. But fast forward to the scene with yourself, Bobby Seale.
Right. Bobby Seale, Denzel, and me.
Yeah.
Denzel was on the set.
Now, let me ask a question.
Yep.
What was your weight on that scene?
I brought it about 270. I was bigger then.
Yeah.
Still had the hair, man.
Yeah, you had the head on.
Yeah, it was
Denzel, yourself, and Bobby Seale.
Yeah, all in one scene.
And also, there was no cut. We went like this.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Only Spike could have done that.
It's my brother right here.
My baby.
Brooklyn's in the house.
Yes, sir.
Brooklyn's in the house.
BK. Do you know what time it is? It's Al Sharpton time. It's time to put aside all pretenses, deception, denial, or fronting. The time has come to keep it real on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. You need to keep it real with Reverend Al Sharpton right here on Uber TV. Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Let's go back to the phone. Attorney Jennifer Jones Austin is. You know, every day, Monday through Friday, I do 3 hours a day on Keeping It Real with Reverend Al Sharpton. I do 1 hour on Sunday mornings with Reverend Al Sharpton. And I'm live on radio and TV with the Saturday Action Rally. 7 days a week, I talk to our people, hear from them, to call in. I'm sick and tired of people talking for people that they don't talk to. So go on www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Listen to my show, call in, express your opinion. You don't have to agree with me. But let's start talking to each other rather than about each other and lecturing at each other. Let's keep it real with Sharpton.
Happy 20th anniversary to Reverend Al Sharpton on 20 years of Keeping It Real. 2 decades of truth-telling, fearless advocacy, and keeping the people informed and empowered. Thank you for always speaking power to justice and standing firm for what's right. Here's to 20 years of impact and many more to come.
Tradition to be standing with nurses and standing with those that should be getting wages for saving the lives and caring for people that the private hospitals and other hospitals seem not to care about. How can you spend King Day and turn your back on people that are working and not insured right and not given the right wages and not given the right respect when they're taking care of our afflicted, our ill, our infirm? In the name of Martin Luther King, I join the nurses in demanding justice for the nurses. civil rights issue. This is a human rights issue. It's an issue that black and white, Latino, Asian, all can stand together, because those that want to make profits out of people's illness, rather than pay for those that care for them, that stand for them, that are there when their families are not there in some cases. So we had to come on King Day. Many of the dignitaries came to the House of Justice, but I left to come and stand here with them to let them know that Martin Luther King Day is a day to stand up for those that are standing in the cold, but they never left the patients in the cold. No justice. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpton. Thank you. Thank you.
You laugh, Rev.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I am your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. This Exhale Friday, in our 20th year doing this program. Let's go to the phone. Let me start with Nettie in Cincinnati, Ohio. Nettie, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
All right. How you doing there, Rev?
I'm doing great. How you doing, Nettie?
I am doing fine. I'm still listening and getting a lot of information from you and Lincoln.
Yeah. Lincoln, great man. Lincoln is one of a kind.
I just wanted to say that to you, and I wanted you to know that I'm still listening, and everybody go vote.
Yeah, love it.
All right. That's all I had to say.
All right, thank you for your call. You don't have to say much. You just call. I feel better hearing your voice, and I mean that. Let me go to Disco Brian in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, WURD. Disco Brian, we're going to run into a break, so I'm going to hold you over, but you can go ahead and get started.
Hey, Rev, I have some heaviness to share with you today, related to the disgraceful, unconscionable, I don't even like the words coming out of my mouth, what Trump did, what he shared about our first black president and his beautiful, amazing, excellent wife, which eclipses his wife, his third wife, that was friends with Jeffrey Epstein. And now there's pictures of them kissing. And anyway, Rev, I have been mired in suicidal ideation ever since I learned from my paternal grandmother about a rotten root of my family tree when I was about 7 or 8. See, Rev, I had learned about the Klan from a black classmate, a friend of mine in Atlanta when I was in 1st or 2nd grade. I can't remember which grade, but I remember we were still in Atlanta, and I remember he had shown me a picture of a ghostly hooded figure, and he told me about how this Klan, this Ku Klux Klan, rode around and terrified, tortured, and killed black people. So since I had known that my paternal grandmother was a loving Christian woman who was always teaching me about Jesus, Rev, I asked her if she knew anything about this scary, evil Ku Klux Klan that I had just learned about from this black friend of mine. And her response to my question, Rev, has haunted me ever since, and it's one of the primary reasons I am currently in trauma therapy today. She said, "Well, honey, my daddy was in the Klan, but he didn't do anything bad. He was just making sure men weren't out cheating on their wives in bars at night." You see, Rev, she believed the lie that her daddy told her about what he did when he was out terrorizing and lynching black people in Moultrie, Georgia in the 1920s. And I'm almost certain that he calmed her worry about his evil doing by lying to her as a child.
Right.
And Rev, she just kept on believing it, probably in order to stay sane. So because of that, Rev, I can no longer stand seeing so many melanin-deficient Democratic or Democratic-adjacent male politicians and influencers lecturing instead of listening to our sisters, and specifically our sisters of color. And that is why, Rev, I get so incensed about white male politicians and influencers sitting down for deep dive interviews with anyone other than you and Don Lemon and Roland Martin, and instead with other powerful white male podcasters who have made careers out of mocking, defaming, and shaming leaders like Kamala Harris, Hillary Clinton, and Jasmine Crockett. Bernie and James Tallarico laughing and fawning all over Joe Rogan and Theo Vaughn. It is an absolute atrocity that, yes, I trace back to that first one of many traumas of me growing up, trying to love black people and being awoken to the nightmare that, in fact, my family roots go back to the most evil, atrocious nightmare in world history. So, Rev, thank you so much for letting me come here, and I can't wait to be at the NAN convention. I am so excited, and you just please keep doing it, and I just want to do good. I want to do right, and thank you for letting me find the truth through this show and through your lifelong service to this country. Thank you, Reverend Sharpton.
Rev. Yeah. I was reading this.
He's done.
I think I heard the end of what you said, but let me ask you a bottom line part, because I was just past the note I was reading that Trump is now taking down the insulting, racist video he put up about President and Mrs. Obama. The point that I want to raise, though, is that we're seeing signs all over the place, Brian, and I don't see us responding at the level that we should. Do we have Brian?
There, Rev, do you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now.
Thank you, sir. I don't know what level that is. I will go to every protest I have to go to. I'll do anything I have to. And the reason I keep calling in here is because I really think, and I hope that there are some white Democratic leaders who listen to this show who will finally hear what I'm trying to say, which is we need to let black and female leaders lead, and we need to support them, we need to uplift them, and we need to protect them. And Rev, I don't know how to stop what feels like an impending fascist destruction of this once hopeful country, but you know, I'm waiting. I'm waiting for for you to continue to lead us and for us to rise together. But you know, I'm at a loss for words, Rev. That's why I just keep coming here. I keep listening to you. I keep listening to black elders who call in and share their wisdom on this sacred show. And you know, that's all I can do for now. I'm very much looking forward to the NAN convention, and I hope we can come up with something to do there.
Well,
and until then, I'm just going to keep it real.
Well, we definitely come up with an agenda. I don't have people come for the spectacle. They leave with an assignment, so you definitely can promise that. You can count on that. Let's go to Wale in Manhattan. Keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
How you been, Reverend Sharpton?
I'm doing good.
Hope all is well. I hope I'll be able to at least complete what it is I'm trying to say, because it's extremely important and it's tragic. There was a sister named Michelle. I haven't been listening to your show because I've been extremely busy, just maybe about a day or two. I haven't really listened. But a woman named Michelle Montgomery, her chopped up body, you might have even talked about it already, I don't know. Her chopped up body was discovered in a NYCHA, New York City Housing Authority development called Boricua Houses. It's in Brooklyn. It's on Bushwick Avenue and Kedding Street in Brooklyn, next to a library. I forget the name of the library. But what makes this so tragic, this is a black woman, number one. Usually the mayors that govern the cities give statements of things. Like if the weather's bad, they'll come up and say something. If there's something tragic with folks missing, like with this woman's mother that's missing, they talk about that every 5 seconds. But this Michelle Montgomery, I even went as far as looking in the newspapers. I wanted to see, because it happened they found the body Sunday past at 9:30 in the compactor room of Boricua houses. In the compactor room, her body was chopped up, and the maintenance worker, went to lift the bags. The bags were so heavy that she was, well, what's in the bag? She opens it, she sees the woman's head. The only people that have access to those keys are NYCHA employees.
Well, how did, if it wasn't in the papers, how did you get all this information?
Oh, I didn't say it wasn't in the papers.
Oh, it was in the papers.
The mayor didn't make a statement.
Wait a minute. It was in the papers?
I said that I went to look at the papers because there's a library right next to the development.
Right.
I went in there, Reverend Sharpton, because I wanted to see, because they found her body on Sunday past.
You give me too many details without answering the question. Was it in the papers?
It wasn't in the daily newspaper, Tuesday newspaper, right? They found the body on Sunday. It wasn't in the daily newspaper on Monday. It didn't make the front cover Tuesday. It was on the 8th page on Wednesday of the daily newspaper. It wasn't in the Times paper, period, at all.
So I'm saying, so how do we know the mayor and others were informed about this?
I watch the TV every day. I look at TV every day.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, if you would allow me to finish my statement, I'm not saying Mamdani don't care about black people. That's not what I'm saying.
I didn't say you said that. I'm trying to get an understanding on what.
I know that he's
I'm trying to get an understanding on what it is that you're saying, because I was in New York all this week, and this is the first time I'm hearing about it. And I read the papers every day and read and go online every day. I didn't say that I don't. I'm not saying you're lying. I'm saying that. Okay, let's go on. Now you want to just argue, Wally. I'm trying to get the information.
I'm giving it to you, Sharpton.
All right, well, answer what I'm asking you. If it wasn't in the papers and if it wasn't on television, how was the mayor and everybody how were they informed of it? Do you know?
No, Reverend, I didn't say it wasn't in the paper.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't say it because I went to the library and I looked at all of the papers to see when, if it was put in the paper. It was in the papers. It was on the 8th page of the Daily News on Wednesday's paper. It didn't make the front page, but a dog show did. Mamdani did not make a statement, and I'm saying that he's the mayor of the city. And when serious things like this happen, he should have made a statement. And so to make the statement now, to me, wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I agree.
4 or 5 days later.
I agree.
The New York City Housing Authority, CEO, their representatives, I live in NYCHA as well. So I know we could be on here all day talking about how they don't care about their tenants. But they could have at least, just like when they found that baby in the grass, the fetus, just like when they found all these things that happened, the woman that got shot up and everything in NYCHA, they never come out, Reverend Sharpton, and make a statement. The CEOs or they representatives, they could do that. They could show concern. The killer of this woman that chopped this woman up, they still haven't found the killer.
You still haven't found the killer. Wow. When I'm seeing Rodney Jones, the mayor says it was on my news yesterday, my shepherd. All right. So it's making some news. We need to look into this. And they have not found the killer Somebody else said it was on ABC and NBC. Interesting. I need to have our folk look this up, and I agree with her. The mayor should say something. This should not go like that. Let's take a break. Be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, Exhale Friday. Keeping it real. As we look today on King Day, let us not forget that we had to struggle to even have this day. They did not wake up one morning and say, let's give a federal holiday to Martin Luther King. People petitioned, people marched. Mrs. Coretta Scott King, who never has gotten the credit she deserves in being the force behind this movement. Congressman John Conyers, Stevie Wonder, and others. And Ronald Reagan, who had called Martin Luther King a communist, ended up being the president that had to sign the bill for Martin Luther King's federal holiday. The reason why we know struggle works is this holiday is a result of struggle, signed by a president that never thought it would be. Let us remember now, as we bring our children and grandchildren up the Potomac, that they can see the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and one memorial that never served as president, but changed this country more than any other American, Dr. Martin Luther King, Jr. But we gather this morning because everything Dr. King stood for is at risk. As we speak, we're waiting to see what the Supreme Court will do with Section 2 of the Voting Rights Act, one of the major achievements of the King movement. As we speak this morning, this sitting president has declared war on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is the core of the Civil Rights Act of '64. We are under attack, and we should not be taking this as a day off. This is a day on to fight to keep what was maintained. To see, I remember 6 years ago, Martin III and I were in Minneapolis leading the marches around George Floyd. I did the eulogy at his funeral. 6 years later, we see a white female, unarmed, killed in Minneapolis. We see people being racially profiled. We see that there are those that would want this to be the last federal holiday named after King. Don't you be deceived. This sitting president and his cohorts would want to end Martin Luther King Day. But just like we will not let them end this day, we will not let them end voting rights and Civil Rights Act and DEI. It's not enough to remember and honor the dreamer and let them kill the dream. And that's why National Action Network has every year started in Washington, D.C. with this breakfast. And then we go to New York with our public policy forum. And every year, we try to set an agenda and go into April. We always have our national convention in April, which is the month Dr. King was killed, to say that they killed the dreamer, not the dream. And those of us that come out of that movement is going to continue to fight. This April will be our National Action Network is 35 years old in this April at our convention. One of the things, though, we've been most proud of is to try to keep the assignment that we were given. As I said, Mrs. Coretta Scott King never got the credit she was due. She's the matriarch of this movement. You must know that Dr. King was in Boston, had graduated Morehouse College, 19 years old. Went to Boston University, an Ivy League school at a time many blacks couldn't get in them. Met a young lady who was in conservatory, was going to be an opera singer from Marion, Alabama, Coretta Scott King. They decided to go back south. A lot of blacks that went north and had their upper movement never wanted to go back south. But for whatever reason, Dr. King wanted to go back south. And Mrs. King stood right with him and went to Alabama and ran into history. It is always those that accept the calling that change history. And we should never forget the sacrifice made of Dr. Martin and Mrs. Coretta Scott King, because they did not have to go and lead a boycott. They were Boston University Conservatory graduates. They chose to fight. And when it fell their lot, they kept fighting. And even after Dr. King was assassinated, she kept the movement going. Martin III bonded me and his mother, and she used to reprimand me. Al, you got to be careful with your language. Al, I know you up north, but do this, that, and other. She got on me about being not only in the tradition in your actions, because we always was there, but even in your rhetoric. And it was because of that that it meant so much. For the last 30 years, Martin and I have walked step by step together because we had that bond, and I felt that Mrs. King gave us that. He has kept this dream alive all over the world. He has worked with the offsprings of Mahatma Gandhi to keep this tradition going. But I thought I knew a lot about how God operates because I've been preaching since I was a little boy. So I thought I'd never see another person in the spirit of Coretta Scott King. But Andrea Waters King walks and talks and operates in the spirit of Mrs. Because sometimes I turn around and think Mrs. King is back. She is more adamant. When Martin and I are saying, well, I don't know about this, she gets us on the Zoom and zooms us up. Say, no, y'all got to do this and this way. So I want to bring, before we start the awards, to the stage the heirs of Dr. Martin Luther King and Coretta Scott King, Andrea Waters King and Martin Luther King III. Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton. For the month of February, Black History Month, the Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had an Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades.
This is the first Thanksgiving I'm here in New York. Over 20 years. I'm just glad to be here with Rev today and to hand out the food. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. It's a blessing.
It's Erica Ford, the Peace Doctor in the building. Here at the National Action Network, it's about thanks. It's about giving. It's about gratitude. It's about love. I feel it is important for you to understand that there's work out here to be done, but it starts with gratitude, it starts with giving, it starts with peace, it starts with love.
Let's go. Before we feed our family, we got to make sure that we feed the community. That's right. That's what it's all about. We got to come with Sharpton phones. You come and you make sure you show up, serve the community. That's what it's all about.
Many people cannot focus because they have not really come to terms with their calling and life purpose. In order to focus, you must also be clear on what you're focusing on. So if you're not clear on your purpose, if you're not clear on your life's calling, then focus on seeking that. Because if you just read the ways and roads you traveled that you didn't even choose, that were sort of just laid out for you by God, in that it's telling you, speaking to you about what you're and what you were born to do and be. I learned the things 532 5797 1877 532 5797, and you can go on the message pad at www.nationalactionnetwork.net, www.nationalactionnetwork.net. It is alarming to me. It is incredibly alarming to me that we are in Black History Month and the President of the United States can do a video, post a video on his social media calling the former president or depicting the former president and the former first lady as monkeys. Stand up yesterday at a prayer breakfast and says that he and others want to see prayer back in the school. And that night, go and put something as hateful as that, and we're not outraged about it. My fear is that we are becoming numb, that Trump is doing so much that we become numb, and that is when it is dangerous. When you are in an abused relationship, when you see a woman abused by a husband or vice versa, the danger is when they accept it as normal and they have battered wife syndrome. Well, that's just how he is. And I'm going to talk about that tomorrow at the Saturday rally. We are developing battered race syndrome, where we accepting these people doing whatever they want to us, and we don't even protest. We don't say nothing. If someone is doing you wrong, even if you can't correct it, you must defy it and make noise about it and do kick and scream until something happens. I'm being told on the message board that the phone line is not working, Dallas.
We're checking now.
Okay, because that's somebody, Deborah Leatherwood, saying the phone line is not working. And as they're correcting that, they're going to get that correct. I want you all to understand that it is unhealthy. It's unhealthy for your children. It's unhealthy for you to go through all of this racism and not at least speak out about it. Silence is consent. And democracy.fund. As Brian saying, TikTok and X have been training us to become numb to human suffering. I think there's a lot of truth in that, Brian. I think that by every show is a gangster show and bang, bang, shoot 'em up, and to where we almost feel it's normal when we see it in real life because we see it all the time. Got the headphones on, locked in our vision. So we normalize debauchery. I just am alarmed and concerned beyond what I can say to see us just normalize stuff like this and act like it's all right, or that some way it is going to work itself out. No. If people see you are brutalized and you don't respond, they'll keep brutalizing. Because as much as you've made it normal to be brutalized, they'll just make it normal to keep brutalizing you. It becomes a sick syndrome. All right, let's see what these lines are up. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Our lines back up?
No, sir. No, sir.
Somebody tell me something.
Lines are down. We're still trying to figure it out down here. They're all the way down.
All right, I think that they are trying to figure it out. Let's go to a break and let them figure it out. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton, be right back.
Working on this, Rev. Just give me a second.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm
1968. Dr. Martin Luther King was killed in Memphis, Tennessee. And it has been the commitment of National Action Network to always, in the month he was killed, to let them know they killed the dreamer.
I have a dream today.
They can't kill the dreamer.
London, yeah. We've got many problems there. We need you over our side. Yeah, you're invited anytime, please. Whenever you want to come.
There we go. Dice! What's up, Doc?
So we are in not a political dilemma, we are in a moral dilemma. And if the black church does not come with a prophetic voice, then who's going to do it? We can go through all the data, all the statistics, all we're going through in the workshops, but the question is, where is the action going to be? We all believe in Jesus. Jesus didn't teach theology, he healed people. And they learned the nature of the theology based on his healing. We've got to heal this nation. And if we heal this nation, the nation will return to our churches. But we've become silent and compromised. And we try to blame it on, I'm not in this. You are in this. You live it, your members live it. Unemployment now is higher now than it's been since the pandemic. Yet we survive. Yes, sir. There's no history in the world of any people that went through the kind of psychological, cultural, and physical slavery like blacks did in America. The only reason we're still here is because of our faith. We had no external strength. We had an internal strength. And it was the God that we were taught by our mamas and grandmamas that brought us through. And I don't care who's sitting in the White House, we cannot betray the God that brought us through.
Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had a Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades.
We have a short visit today, so we just wanted to greet you all and thank you for allowing us in. Yes, sir. We was here.
They were on the plantation.
Our family was on the plantation. Wow. And that's, of course, that's the slave house. That's one of the slave houses.
Sir, it's been 13 years.
That's right.
Good to
How
see
you been?
Doing fine. Good.
Right, last time. And we,
Alexander Shelton. How many slaves were staying there?
I have no idea.
This is where they would have a slave.
Yeah, that's when exactly. That was exactly.
I just the two people that most influenced my life are from South Carolina, James and Jesse. Jesse right up the road from me. I went over his mother's funeral. Jesse walked me to my mother's casket. From South Carolina. That's the balance of my life, James and Jesse.
Yeah.
Civil rights, shoulders.
But also where your people from too.
Literally.
Yeah, right.
And when I knew Jesse was from James, I started president.
Yeah.
And James had died before I knew about him in South Carolina.
Oh, really?
Yeah. James died December 25th. He died Christmas Day, 06. And they came to do the story for February of 07. They came to me in January. His daughter swear that was his daddy and helped me push the information out.
Wow.
And I called Jesse and told him, do you know that my great-grandfather was a slave about 45, because Greenville right up to I-20. He said, I told you we was connected. That's why you got to listen to me. But
that I want to end. He talked about the dry bones in the valley.
Go take it back.
The only reason that the wind could blow life into the bones is because at some point they had to be connected. If the wind had blown into a disconnected body, it still wouldn't have worked. So before he prophesied to the wind, they had to first get the foot bone to connect to the ankle bone, and the ankle bone to the calf bone, and to the knee bone, and the knee bone to the thigh bone. If we are to prophesy to the wind, we must first connect this body. We must connect Eddie Long to Farrakhan and Cornel West to Elders and Lowry to Sharpton. If we can connect this body, then God will blow the breath of life into our community. But as long as we are disconnected, the wind can't blow because it's blowing on disconnected dry bones. But the good news is that we're the children of people that have been through worse than this, and we're still here. So even though I get despondent, I don't ever get depressed, because I want the world to know you won't beat us, because we're the children of those that took the worst form of slavery and brutality that ever lived, that ever existed. Our parents survived the Middle Passage. Only the strong got here, and then we lost our name, our culture, our religion, and we're still here. But you don't know who we are. We're the children of Chaka Zulu. We're the children of Mary McLeod Bethune. We're the children of Marcus Garvey. We're the children of Martin Luther King. We'll be here. We were first, and we'll be last. We know who we are.
March in Washington. 62 years later, the dream is not dead.
I'm here because I must be here. Democracy is not there for the pig, and you have to fight for democracy. That's what it is. What Trump
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. And we're back. Our phone lines went awry for a minute, but we're back up. So you can call in and let's exhale. We are sorry for whatever the technical difficulty was, but they jumped right on it and got it straight. So you can call in at 1-877-532-5797. Let me say while they're lining up the calls, don't forget to watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live both 5 p.m. Saturday, which is tomorrow, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, or Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And all of you Super Bowl fans, game starts at 6:30. I'm from 5 to 6, so you can get some super information and then go watch your Super Bowl and enjoy it. People asking me who's going to win, and I said Robert Kraft. He's the owner of New England Patriots. That's going to win, the owners. I'm not saying the Patriots are going to win. The owners of the Patriots and owners of the Seahawks is going to win because they the ones going to make all the money. And all you going to do and I'm going to do is see Bad Bunny. He going to make some money too. Let us, so watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MS Now, both Saturday and Sunday. Among my guests this weekend, I'm going to have on Governor Wes Moore. He's going to really break down how they're trying to redistrict Maryland as a national prototype of how they are going to redistrict all over the country to knock out Democrats and really minimize black voters. So I'm going to have Governor Wes Moore on over the weekend. I'm going to have the new congressman from Texas, Menifee, on, Congressman Christian Menifee. I'm going to have Congressman Jonathan Jackson on, who made an appealing prayer at the prayer breakfast yesterday that Donald Trump just left clearly, didn't regard any of the things he was praying for. I'm going to have him on. I'm going to have some of the governors on. You just need to watch both nights diligently and tell people to tune in. You in the New York area or New Jersey or Connecticut, meet me or beat me to the Saturday Action Rally. It's Black History Month. We are moved to our temporary headquarters, Mother AME Zion Church in Harlem, 140 West 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th. Don't go to the old location. I've been telling y'all for weeks we're going to move temporarily. This is not the permanent, but we're going to be there. We want to do Black History Month there. That's where Frederick Douglass spoke. That's where Sojourner Truth came through that church, the Underground Railroad. Madam C.J. Walker's funeral was in this church. It is a historic church. They have a little museum there in the basement of the church, in the fellowship hall, you should see. And so you clearly need to do every rally every Saturday, you that are in the area, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. in New York at the House of Justice, temporary at Mother AME Zion. And you that cannot get there physically, you're not in the New York area, you can watch it live on Impact Television, or you can also watch it live at www.nationalactionnetwork.net. All right, and we'd be glad to have that. Also, the convention, I'm checking the numbers, and there's about 200 a day people signing up. You better sign up, because I've not seen it that many registered this early. We got to 10,000 people last year that went, largest civil rights convention last several years. And but if we get to 5,000, I'm going to have to close registration now, because that means those coming from out of town that have not called in, they have to have room. So get on the list, and it's going to be worth it. And these midterm elections, with this man in the White House openly depicting us as monkeys, if ever was a time you need to wake up and get involved, you better wake up and get involved. Because what you're seeing them doing to so-called illegal immigrants, I really believe, I can only speak for me, it's a test run of what they can do to other American citizens they want to isolate. Once you can start grabbing 2-year-old kids and snatching them away from their parents, 5-year-old kids and snatching them away, they are testing how much we will take. And we'll be the next stop. I'm telling you now. Let's go back to the phone. Let me go to Bertha in Cleveland, Ohio. Bertha, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton.
Good afternoon, Reverend. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Reverend, you know what I'm wondering? Now, Trump is coming up with this thing about nationalizing the election. I've never heard of anything like that before, and I wonder how much power does he have that he can generate and no one is saying anything. Because really and truly speaking, we're being awfully quiet. The Democrats and the Republicans are being awfully quiet right now. We need to start doing something because this man is completely out of his mind. I've never heard of any nationalizing these elections.
No, it is where if you have the government nationalize elections, that means whoever in national office can control the vote, they'll never be out of power, because all the votes they will control, and it's against what's in the Constitution. The Constitution of the United States, they're getting ready to celebrate 250 years of the Declaration of Independence. They're going to violate the idea of the states will be the ones to be in charge and monitor and preside over the voting. So the only reason you'd want to nationalize it is you want to control the results. You are exactly right. We better really be on time. I'm going to do a whole workshop on this whole states versus national and governing and voting, and I'm going to have several of our senators there at our convention. Let's go to Ira in Washington, D.C. Ira, you're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on XL Friday.
Hey, good evening, Reverend Sharpton. Thanks for taking my call. I'm going to try to keep it under 5 minutes, and this is what I got going on today. I had talked to somebody that had got, their friend had got free tickets to watch the Melania movie, which they claimed was nothing but just a movie about some craziness, and her can't even speak English, and it's just about him being elected again and all this. It really wasn't no movie. It was just something that they put on for entertainment, and they gave her free tickets, and the guy said after the first 30 minutes he was bored, and he wouldn't even pay for that, even though he was free. But hey, it is just some propaganda stuff that they got going on with them. They had money to throw away with the guy from the Amazon had money to throw away. So that's him on that crap there. But the other thing I got going on, you had a caller call the other day, and he said something about the Republicans are scared of to take any action. But what I think it boils down to, personally, I think it's because the Republicans have been threatened by Donald Trump and whoever else that's in his hooligan family, and it threatened them, probably their family with violence and stuff like that. And they're not worried about losing their job. They just threatened with physical violence and may have made a serious threat about you coming up missing or your family coming up missing. They probably just got scary because they're not used to that kind of rhetoric and stuff like that. So I don't know how to take that. And my last thing I want to talk about, this 250-year sticker that he made them put on these football uniforms for the Super Bowl. Now, I mean, come on now. How you going to do all that? You going to put your 250-year sticker on something you didn't even put a 1-year sticker on Black History Month. So come on now. That's my call, Mr. Sharpton. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you for your call. Let me go to Theron. Theron in Detroit, Michigan. Theron.
Hey, Brother Al. Peace be unto you. And
hey, we need to go to a break.
Wait a minute. Hold on, Theron. I need to take my break. I'll come right back to you. Okay. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back.
I want to talk to you. I want to talk to you. Just wait. I believe that.
Good morning, everybody. I hope the coffee has kicked in by now. I want to start by thanking your leader, the Reverend Al Sharpton, and everyone at the National Action Network for 35 years of standing up for civil rights and opportunity for everyone.
And I couldn't be more grateful for the way that you have blessed the lives of so many, including mine.
As we look today on King Day, let us not forget that we had to struggle to even have this day. They did not wake up one morning and say, let's give a federal holiday to Martin Luther King. People petitioned. People marched. Let us remember now as we bring our children and grandchildren up the Potomac that they can see the Washington Monument, the Lincoln Memorial, the Jefferson Memorial, and one memorial that never served as president but changed this country more than any other American, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
This was an amazing MLK breakfast.
It is truly an honor
And more importantly, this is an important day for us.
I feel incredibly lucky and honored to be in this room on this day, celebrating Dr. King's legacy of civil rights, especially in the moment that we're facing on a national level. It feels like warmth and home being in this room.
So I'm encouraged by today. I'm encouraged that we're getting out, we're protesting, but more needs to be done. We need to lean in.
And let's keep fighting because the job is not done here. And I just feel so honored to get this award. It's not about getting an award, it's about doing the work. And let's keep up with the work.
Many people cannot focus because they have not really come to terms with their calling and life purpose. In order to focus, you must also be clear on what you're focusing on. So if you're not clear on your purpose, if you're not clear on your life's calling, then focus on seeking that. Because if you just read the ways and roads you traveled that you didn't even choose, that were sort of just laid out for you by God, in that it's telling you, speaking to you about what your purpose is and what you were born to do and be. I learned the things that I didn't plan had to be planned by God, and God's plan was directed toward God's purpose in my life. And I focus on that. Not focus on what others do, not focus on how well they're doing or bad they're doing, but focus on whether I'm in line and aligned with what I'm supposed to be about. And in order to move straight ahead, you have to be focused on the path you're running on. Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had an Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades. Some of you forget where you come from and forget how you got there and act like you got there because you were qualified or that you had a good resume. But some of us had to pay a price for your resume to even be read. Some of us had to take nights in jails and licks upside the head or shut out of boardrooms like Byron so you could walk down red carpets and act like you got there by yourself. So I received this award with a special special place in my heart and on my shelf because I'm getting it from a freedom fighter who never forgot where he came from and how he got there. Yes, we've come a long way. We've had now a black president and now a black vice president, but we still can get shot down and have to march to get a case in court. We still can get shut out of boardrooms. We're still doubly unemployed in a good economy. So we're gonna have to keep marching. And I thank not only my family, a mother that raised me by herself, but I thank that lady at the end of the march that knows she won't be on TV that night and knows her name will never be in the paper, but she believed in me enough to get at the end of the line and make me look good. Because Dr. King used to say, if you call a march and no one shows up, you just going for a walk. And I want to thank those that marched with me. 32 years ago, here in Los Angeles, we marched. And then many years later, with George Floyd and others, we're still marching. And I'm going to keep marching. I'm going to keep agitating. And I'm going to keep going.
Keeping it real.
Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. It's XL Friday. Let me go right back to Theron in Detroit, Michigan. Theron.
Hey, Brother Al, I appreciate you taking my call, and peace be unto you, and congratulations on your 20 years on the airway. And you've been more than 20 years around us. We've been hearing you a lot.
Thank you.
So I really appreciate your strength and stand strong for us. We need to support you and continue to support one another because we are in troubled times right now. We are in the last days. Scripture speaks of this. Revelations tells us that the devil's in his last 1,000 years. So he's acting out, and we actually see it today. We see his acting out and his way of trying to stay around when he is on his way out, because this is his last 1,000 years. That's in Scripture. So the behavior of what we're seeing today, we always can go back into Scripture and see this. Unrighteousness is unrighteousness as it was in those days as it is today. When God asked us to, in Scripture where it teaches us that when Noah was building the ark and the people did not want to get on the ark to get away from the rising of the water, that was the unrighteous. They chose to be unrighteous and to follow unrighteous behaviors. The same thing in the day of Lot. Those who refused to flee into the hills of that destruction in that day, they suffered that death because they chose to follow the unrighteous. If we pay attention to those in the day of Moses, when Moses came and told them to buckle onto their shoes and let's go, let's flee from here, they didn't ask who was the authority figure and why are you telling us what to do. They knew to buckle their shoes on and to get out of there. And those that didn't, they drowned in the Red Sea. These are the things that we're facing today. Unrighteousness is not going to be accepted in God's world. If you want to be right, if you're among the righteousness, we must separate ourselves from that. Because if we don't, God is going to separate us from unrighteousness. And this is what we're seeing today. And we're seeing how this man even acted out and killed his own people. He sent his own people to be executed out here in the streets in Minneapolis. So these behaviors that we're seeing, for us as the original people on the face of the earth, we need to stay together, extricate ourselves from these unrighteous behaviors, and go back into our scriptures and understand what's being said to us, because it's really speaking to us to watch ourselves from these unrighteous people. Jesus said himself, "Ye are of your father the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do." And he was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. And we are seeing this today. We've met a murderer. We're still dealing with a murderer. So we have to better ourselves and stay on the right path, because we're deviating from the right path and following an unrighteous behavior. So we need to come back the way we used to be and follow a righteous way of thinking. That's what I want to get out today.
All right. I appreciate the call.
I appreciate you.
All right. Blessings. Tanya Stovall saying on our message board, We need a big apology from the Republicans regarding the Trump post of hate and racism, Tricia. Yeah, she's writing that to Tricia, and I'm reading it to everybody. I think that an apology is one thing, but I think that even when Tim Scott comes out and denounces him, I think that clearly people should say, Republican and Democrat, they can't tolerate this from the President of the United States. And this is on his Twitter account. He did it. And they just took it down a little while ago. Like I said, what does he got to do? Call a primetime message and just sit up there and use the N-word? So y'all, before y'all believe, the man's a bigot. I've been telling y'all that. Let's go to Russell in Birmingham, Alabama. Russell.
Afternoon, Al.
I'm doing fine.
Good. You know who I am. I'm the one that we did the march, and I used to pick up Rosa Parks when she came to Montgomery. She used to call me her godson.
Okay.
Let me say a couple of things. My heart is heavy down here in Birmingham because all our leadership are gone. All the people we have in Birmingham now is nothing but sellout. Let me give you a for example. We have in Birmingham, we have 72% of head of households are single parents. The governor of the state of Alabama just not building 2 prisons, and both of them capacity of 20,000 inmates. In the state of Alabama, we have 7 HBCU. We have more guys in prison than we have in all of the 7 HBCU combined. They are in the process of taking our water system over with. This is why I want you to give Eric hold to my number. I've been trying to find this number for him to come to Birmingham. They're in the process of taking our water system over with. If you don't pay your water bill in Birmingham, they will put a lien on your property. And now all of this is wrong. And sometimes I've been in this movement ever since 1979 with John Lewis, and I've been working a long time. But we are bagging up in Birmingham. We are bagging up, and now they got a House bill down there, House Bill 72. That bill says if you pick your grandchild up and take him to the public school system, if that child get out of that car smelling like marijuana, they can come back and lock you up. And that bill goes up to the age of 19. See, all they trying to do now is steal the bill of those prisoners up. But like I said, back to the sewer situation. It's the sewer bill gonna run you $100-some odd, and like I said, most of these folks down here on fixed income, they're gonna take all of these folks' house in Birmingham, because in Birmingham, in Jefferson County, we have about 92% of all the judges are African American. I was able to help 12 female judges, a DA, and a sheriff to get elected. Now, in closing, all of those persons out there that were participating in marching, you need to make sure they're registrable, because my first march from Selma to Montgomery was in '86. I was with Joseph Lowry. If you were not a registered voter, they wouldn't allow you to get in that line, because in Birmingham, in Alabama, we're probably going to pick up 2 more congressional seats. 5 and 6. And also, in closing, we have Doug Jones is on the ticket running for governor. So we got a good chance in Alabama to pick up a lot of...
Doug Jones, a former senator from...
Former U.S. senator, right.
Mm-hmm.
But we got a good chance to do a lot of... And people beating up on Trump. Trump don't help us. If you never have no pain, just like the march from Selma to Montgomery, if you have no pain, you have no gain. Trump going to help us gain a lot of seats throughout this country. So again... If you can get in touch with Eric Holt, give him my number. The guy at the switchboard, I gave him my number to you. And I want to become a membership and get you come down here one Sunday and do your program. Come to Birmingham and do your program.
All right, let me let me get his number. And I will see what I can do. And Sheila Tyson, who is an elected official there in Birmingham, is the head of our chapter. In fact, our HBCU tour just went through Alabama, and Sheila Tyson was with them, a great political leader. Let's go to, let me go to Jackson. Is that Jackson? In Maryland. Hello?
How you doing? Hello?
Yes, you're on
How you
there.
doing, Reverend Now? My question today is the comment that you made for us earlier, comparing far as an abusive person in a relationship with what the government is doing for us right now.
Right.
One of the reasons why people don't want to get involved, like in an abusive relationship, right? By you looking on the outside, you think, or at least when I was younger, well, I'm gonna help this person because this person is in the short end of the stick, or has the short end of the stick. Like say, for example, if a man is beating on a woman, right? So she's taking the short end of the stick. So I'm thinking not necessarily going against him, but to try to break it up or try to diffuse it, try to stop him from going further. So as I've been in more situations like that, I see that there was reason for concern. So it's like the same thing, I think, with people marching and, people going against the government. The reason why, well, I already know you know all of the reasons why, but one reason why is because, they're afraid of the repercussions. Like, so if it come back on them, who's going to help them? What they're going to do? Like their family and themselves gotta be accountable or is only held responsible seemingly for this. And what are they to do? Like say like if they lose their job or something like that, So that's some of the reasons why people don't really want to get involved with anything. I mean, it's not necessarily you don't have no warriors out here or a person ain't afraid. I mean, I know our people have a lot of attitude, you know what I'm saying? But that's just attitude that's not real. As me growing up in the places I did and stuff like that and having to go against these entities, that's not real. It's all bravado, right? Now, when it comes down to real is what you do, like the name of your show. And just like in an abusive relationship, even if one is out of character, let's say with the man beating on a woman, or let's say a woman, far as a man was to do something like that, right? When the truth, when it all hits the fan, then you see what they're about, and then this person did all this and couldn't stand up. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, that's the reason why people don't want to stay. I just want to hear from you and what do you feel about it, because I think that you're going to tell us a deeper meaning and enlighten us all as far as wanting to have responsibility, regardless of the situation.
I think that all right, you took the analogy of the abusive relationship. Hold on a minute. Let me take a break, and I'll come right back to you. We'll discuss this and take other callers. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back. Hey, what's up? They got, they're doing, thank you. They're doing What's on Your Mind? Yeah. All right, then, we got a birthday this week. I got to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday this weekend. And Carrie White's birthday, right?
Corey's birthday's today.
Yeah, and I got to tell Reverend Bird, be ready, Daniel 5th chapter. I want him to read. And I'm ready. Got a message from today, so we'll be on the air in what? Half hour.
About a half hour.
You should tune in to the WBLS 107.5 FM and National Impact and www.nationalnetwork.net. All right, I'm ready.
Oh.
Make sure you operate on time or I'll tell them how old you are.
It is the greatest
King Day. Because Martin Luther King died in Memphis fighting for wages for garbage workers. And I believe he would want those of us that come in his tradition to be standing with nurses and standing with those that should be getting wages for saving the lives and caring for people that the private hospitals and other hospitals seem not to care about. How can you spend King Day and turn your back on people that are working and not insured right and not given the right wages and not given the right respect when they're taking care of our afflicted, our ill, our infirm? In the name of Martin Luther King, I join the nurses in demanding justice for the nurses. This is not only a labor issue, this is a civil rights issue. This is a human rights issue. It's an issue that black and white, Latino, Asian, all can stand together. Because those that want to make profits out of people's illness, rather than pay for those that care for them, that stand for them, that are there when their families are not there in some cases. So we had to come on King Day. Many of the dignitaries came to the House of Justice, but I left to come and stand here with them to let them know that Martin Luther King Day is a day to stand up for those that are standing in the cold, but they never left the patients in the cold. No justice. No justice. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. No justice. No peace. All right.
Thank you, Mr. Sharpton. Thank you. Thank you.
Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had a Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades.
Welcome back, everybody. My next guest is a TV and radio personality. He's an activist and the author of a new book, The Rejected Stone, Al Sharpton and the Path to American Leadership. Please welcome my friend, Reverend Al Sharpton. Ram, how you doing?
Good.
Look at you. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How are
Boy,
you?
you getting sharper and sharper.
No, I'm trying to be like you.
Man, I'm trying to get my weight together, man. You look good. How much weight have you lost?
All told, about 120 pounds.
That's been great, man. I'm gonna get into this book, but I gotta tell you, man, I really do appreciate your stand for the small man. I think it's the common man that has really connected with you over the years, and the common cause, I think, has been very, very effective.
Well, thank you. That's what my ministry is all about.
Yeah.
You have to know in life what your passion is, what gets you up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's my passion. And I once you lose it, you should get out of it and do something else.
Right. Now, it's been 10 years since your last book. Why is this one really important to you at this point?
You know, people stop me all over wherever I'm traveling and say to me, you've changed so much. You're on radio now, TV every day, you're National Action Network has gotten formidable. You go to the White House, and you lost a lot of weight. How did you transform yourself? I want to go to the next level in my life. And I thought about it. I said, rather than just talk politics, I wanted to write a book about how anybody, any race, any religion, can transform themselves and go to the next step in life and not be afraid to do it, because you can do it.
Right.
And I'm a billboard of that.
Right, exactly. Just like me, Reverend Al Sharpton has some principles that he lives by, characteristics of being a leader. So what's the first principle that you say makes a person a leader?
You have to first decide where you're going. You know, most people never arrive because they don't have a destination. If you go to the airport, first thing you have to decide is where you're going. You can't even price the ticket, get through security nowhere if you're not going anywhere.
Right.
And we hang out in the airports of life. That's the first thing you have to do. Second, you can't be afraid to think big and be big. We all are born a certain race, certain, economic class. We put in categories. You got to think bigger than that. And lastly, be consistent and disciplined. And I think that discipline is something that a lot of people cannot apply, which robs them of their greatness. So in the book, I talk about how I learned. I give anecdotes. You know, I was very close with James Brown, the singer. He was like a father of mine. Right. Michael Jackson. I talk about my relationship with the president. And I talk about how I learned these things and different things from different people, right, because nobody gets big by accident. You have to do it by having a diligent plan.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, it's that thinking big part that stops a lot of people, because they see themselves in their environment only. You know, my mother, when I was small, used to bring home travel magazines. Mm-hmm. And my father didn't understand, why you buying those travel magazines? We ain't got no money to go to these places. She said, it's for Steve now, the kids, because I want them to see other places, because one day they will be able to go. And I saw Aruba. I was snorkeling in the Barrier Reef at 9. No money to get there, but it was them making me see it.
You know, the rejected stone comes from the Bible. The rejected stone to be the cornerstone. We've all been rejects, whether in our homes, whether in our jobs, whether in our life. And what I've learned is you can be the biggest reject in the world. Media used to demonize me. But if you learn to embrace and accept yourself, then soon the world will have to join your embrace. So I found I couldn't be somebody else. So I fell in love with Al Sharpton. I've been the president, chairman of the board, secretary, and only member of the Al Sharpton fan club. But we made it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you got another fan in me, my friend, because you have taught me so many things, and you have come to my aid in some really dark moments. I thank you for your friendship.
Thank you.
And listen to me, folks. For more about his principles on leadership, all you got to do is pick up his new book. It's called The Rejected Stone. I think there's some information in there for anybody.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
Pick up a copy. We'll be right back. Reverend Al Sharpton.
I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton. It's XL Friday. Let's go back to Jack in Maryland. Go ahead, Jack.
Yeah, so really to summarize it, all I was just piggyback off of what you were saying and how it relates to setting up as to Trump government, giving this comparison of an abusive domestic relationship. So I would just piggyback off of what you were saying and saying how true that they both was, and the reason why a third party is afraid to interfere as far as with the domestic relationship or whatever. And in the case with the government, it's similar in the aspect you're afraid of something happening to you, or your family and friends that get involved. I mean, the blame or the weight of it is on you. Because most of the time when people get involved with something, unless they know a lot of people, nobody else gets involved,
Right.
And they hesitate to get involved because it can fall on just them. You know what I mean? So say it's been a time, for example, where I was younger at this time, and I had a younger friend. He was like a brother for us to me. A woman and man was having an argument, and the man looked like he was about to beat on her. So I was too young at this time. We rushed in, I guess, to the rescue, like kind of football tackle, and wanted to know what was going on. Right? It's not our business. It's a grown man. You're doing that. But it looked like to me he was going to hurt her. And I felt as though, I was a good fighter. And if I can fight good, or if I believe in myself, why I'm going to sit there and let something like this happen, where it was totally a mismatch. And he told us that the reason why they was arguing, the reason why he wanted to put hands on her, was because she flexed his money down the toilet. Now, that's what he said. I don't know if it's true or not, but she ain't say nothing about it. You know what I'm saying? And I felt, whoa, you know what I'm saying? What I supposed to do is somebody flex my money down the toilet. Now, with the government, it's just a lot of our people, they have the attitude, that street attitude, like they tough, they can do something. But I had went against a lot of those and a lot of those type of people in competition.
Yeah.
And all it is just ego or talk. You know what I'm saying? I mean, most of them ain't like that, even with our people. It's the very few like yourself, and for stuff that matter. Like, for example, you never see the real crazy people get involved with a lot of things that go around in, like, the city that they could get involved with to help our people or to help the community, right? Because they ain't warriors. Like they ain't brave like that. So with a person that's not in it, that think about getting in it or wants to be in it, far as like in civil rights or protesters and stuff like that, right? Or want to get down with man, right? You fearful because you say, well, if I get in trouble, my people, my family that know me, they may distance themselves away because they may not want to help me. They may have said bad things, far as about, whatever and stuff like that. But I believed in it because I believed in the person that was leading it and what was right. So I can see the big picture. I'm willing to sacrifice, though. But the alienation and also the repercussions as far as from that. And, when they say, well, I told you,
Yeah, well, I
mean.
think a lot of it, and I appreciate your call. Thank you for your call, Theron. I think a lot of people do have that apprehension, Theron, that if I get involved and get into something, what are people going to say in my family, my friends? But the reverse is also true. If I don't get involved and something happens to me, and I'm not part of something that'll come and defend me and fight for me, then what am I going to do? So if I'm in an organization, if I'm in a movement, if I'm in some kind of collective that's fighting for what's right, if because I'm fighting for what's right, somebody tries to affect me in some negative way, that collective, that organization will defend me. But if I'm just living life like George Floyd was or like Ahmaud Arbery was, and something happens to me, I don't even know who to call. So let's not act like staying out of collectives or organizations or gatherings protects us if you stay out. It protects you if you're in. Let me go to Miss Eunice. I thought I had saw Miss Eunice earlier. She disappeared. I can't end the week without my dear friend from Chicago, Miss Eunice.
Hello, Rev. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Okay. I guess it was technical difficulty you were having.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Reverend, I'd just like to say, Jonathan Jackson, my congressman, spelled it out in his prayer to Trump. And when I think of Trump, two songs come to me. Way down yonder by myself, I couldn't hear nobody pray,
right.
And I pity the fool.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I think, Reverend, the women who was used for sex trafficking should be allowed to testify before Congress, one after another. Since they won't release the file, this has been going on long enough. And bring it all out. Our eyes and ears have heard and seen so much. We can take it. We're grown up now. And also, this guy, what's the Prime Minister of, I think, Great Britain? He was saying that Prince Andrew should also come out since he's caught up and he's been
Oh, yeah, he sure did, yeah.
sure, and he could do something decent maybe because they kicked him out, I guess, the whole place now. So I guess he went someplace else to live. And, Trump enablers are using him. And you have Stephen Miller, Better, and others are using him. He don't have sense enough to know it. He think he's doing something. And also the elected officials. This man is just, I don't know what to say. All the directives that he has given has gotten people killed, and he doesn't think anything about that. He calls people dishonest. Give me a break. And finally, his niece warned us, and I continue to say she didn't tell a lie. Thank you for taking my call, and you have a wonderful weekend.
You do as well, and thank you for calling, and always glad to hear the voice of Miss Eunice. Let me see if I can get Miss Richardson in here from Chevy Chase. Miss Richardson, you're keeping it real with Sharpton.
Yes, sir. How are you today, Rev?
I'm doing fine. How you doing?
Oh, fine, sweetheart. We love you so much. And David's back home. He was with, I didn't say nothing about lately, because he was with his daughter a little while, and she wanted to have him over at her house a little bit. So it was a little relief for me where where she can maybe give me his vitamins and everything for the couple of weeks she had him.
Oh, okay.
And so he's back home now, and he's just giving his honoring to you and your staff of people. Everyone is your staff. Your producer is such a wonderful gentleman. He always greets me and says hello. He knows me. And you just have a nice staff, Rev, that works for you.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, but there was a black woman, 81 years old. This is from the DMV area. I don't know whether other sisters and brothers heard it, and, maybe they did, but I haven't heard, unless you already said and I didn't hear it. Sometimes I'm not in the, with the radio, but did you hear about the 81-year-old black woman that was killed by this elderly white man? And they had it on video on the news several days back, and they had the video footage. She was an Uber driver.
Oh yeah,
and she was
I saw
81.
something about that. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, and my heart was just. Oh my God, my heart dropped because they were showing the video, and I was just thinking that they was showing a senior in her yard or something, and then all this sudden, and then they said that this white elderly man took the gun and shot her 3 or 4 times or 7 times because he must have thought she was snooping around his house. 81-year-old woman now, and he didn't greet her. He had a frown on his face, and the video showed him going at her, and she was frightened. She was trying to get back to the Uber car, I guess. Oh, I said, oh my God, that's poor lady.
She tried to say it was something about a scam or something. It's an outrage, and this woman was totally not doing anything wrong. It's outrageous.
Not doing anything. No, you're right. Even with those 2 white people, they weren't doing anything wrong. The young woman, 37, white lady.
Yeah.
Okay, she was pulling away, like you had said.
Yeah,
she wasn't aiming at him. She was trying to go back to her children, I guess.
Right.
Back at her home.
Right.
And this man just pulled that gun out and shot that lady in the head several times.
Execute.
And then he had a nerve. One of them, even on the news, the local news, where I'm at, I'm in Chevy Chase. But the DMV people should have seen. I don't know whether you saw it from another state, but he pulled his pants down and showed his rear end. One of them the ICE people. That was one of those ICE men.
Wow.
And why would they allow him to even do that? They didn't arrest him or nothing. And so they had to, camouflage his old stinky butt. I'll just say it. Because white people are like that. I had told you years ago, they're not happy people, Rev. Many white people are, but many aren't. And the ones that's in this Trump arena, They're like that. They think like him. These ICE men, a lot of them, and those two Hispanics think like him. So black folks, all Hispanic, are not nice. So you got to find the reality of life. A lot of them think like Trump. These Spanish men,
and some
Puerto
black men
Rican.
do. All or nothing is the same.
Yeah.
Some blacks.
That's the truth.
All right. Thank you for your call. Let me get ready to take my break.
All right.
We'll be right back. I'll talk to you Monday, Miss Richardson. Coming back to you. More of you there, the XL. Sharpton, keeping it real. Be right back. Some of you forget where you come from and forget how you got there. And act like you got there because you were qualified or that you had a good resume. But some of us had to pay a price for your resume to even be read. Some of us had to take nights in jails and licks upside the head or shut out of boardrooms like Byron so you could walk down red carpets and act like you got there by yourself. So I received this award with a special place in my heart and on my shelf because I'm getting it from a freedom fighter who never forgot where he came from and how he got there. Yes, we've come a long way. We've had now a black president and now a black vice president, but we still can get shot down and have to march to get a case in court. We still can get shut out of boardrooms. We're still doubly unemployed in a good economy. So we're gonna have to keep marching. And I thank not only my family, a mother that raised me by herself, but I thank that lady at the end of the march that knows she won't be on TV that night and knows her name will never be in the paper, but she believed in me enough to get at the end of the line and make me look good. Because Dr. King used to say, if you call a march and no one shows up, you just going for a walk. And I want to thank those that marched with me. 32 years ago, here in Los Angeles, we marched. And then many years later, with George Floyd and others, we're still marching. And I'm going to keep marching. I'm going to keep agitating. And I'm going to keep going. Until we don't have to do it anymore. Eddie, known you a long time. Mariah, Chris, and your kids. And I promise you this, the only thing that I really live for is I get up with this dream that every bigot, every racist, everyone in this country that hates will say, damn, he's up again. Hello, New Orleans. Let me tell you straight. They did not think we could come and be here tonight. They cut budgets and advertising, but one black man, Rich Newton, has said, I don't care. My families come together every 4th of July weekend, and Essence will happen, because that's who we are. Give a big hand to Rich New Dennis for bringing us back. Why do we come? Because the essence of who we are is essential to what made this nation. We built this nation. We made this nation. We created the essential dollars that this nation lives off of. We don't care what bill they pass. We will not back up. We will not back down. We will not give in. We will not be chased out. We don't care who's in the White House. We will organize our house by house. We came over the Middle Passage. We survived slavery. We survived Jim Crow. Don't you give up now. reclaim your dignity, reclaim your place. So we stand with the Black Economic Forum. We stand with Essence Magazine because that's who we are. So don't give in now. Yes, it's some rough days, but we've been through rougher days than this. Yes, Trump is a bad dude, but we beat badder dudes than Trump. So let's party with a purpose, because our rhythm and our music reminds us who we are. Because we can smile through our pain and organize for our gain. Let's stand up and let's celebrate who we are. Thank you, God bless you. Hi, this is Reverend Al Sharpton for the month of February, Black History Month. The Saturday Action Rally will be at Mother AME Zion Church, 137th Street, between Lenox and 7th Avenues from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. We're glad as we transition into our new headquarters. Our 4 Saturdays of Black History Month, we'll be doing those rallies at Mother AME Zion. Stand on historic ground, holy ground, where Frederick Douglass spoke, where Madam C.J. Walker was funeralized, where Sojourner Truth had a Underground Railroad come through. I'm so excited about being there as it prepares us to move on to our new headquarters. Let's go back and stand on the rock that our people stood on for decades. Hey, what's up? They got, they're doing, thank you. They're doing What's on Your Mind? Yeah. All right, then, we got a birthday this week. I got to talk about that.
Oh, no.
Happy birthday this weekend. And Carrie White's birthday, right?
Corey's birthday's today.
Yeah, and I got to tell Reverend Birthday reading Daniel 5th chapter. I want him to read. And I'm ready. Got a message from today, so we'll be on the air in what, half hour?
About a half hour.
You should tune in to WBLS 107.5 FM and National Impact and www.nationalnetwork.net. All right, I'm ready. Make sure you operate on time or I'll tell them how old you are. It is really a intersection of both emotions, because when I was 11 or 12 years old, so I watched the news a lot and I became enthralled with the image of Adam Clayton Powell. I was around 11 and I convinced my mother to let me come up to this church to see Adam Clayton Powell. And in those days, people in Brooklyn used to say it's dangerous to go to Harlem. And folk in Harlem say it's dangerous to go to Brooklyn. Now, to 135th Street, and I sat right back there, and Adam Clayton Powell walked down this platform. And I remember after the church, in those days, Johnson, the pastor's study was right inside with the plexiglass, and I knocked on the door and I told the secretary I wanted to meet Reverend Powell. She looked down, this little 11-year-old boy, She said, really? She said, who should I say? I said, Reverend Al Sharpton.
That call means dignity. Means we're gonna walk side by side with you, or through you. We're gonna be with dignity and integrity. We don't want any more than you have.
Joined as I am to close out the show every week by the senior pastor of the historic King Solomon Baptist Church in Detroit, Michigan, as well as head of its national expansion and the Michigan State Chair of the National Action Network, Reverend Charles Williams II. How you doing, Reverend? I don't hear Reverend.
Hello.
Yes, I hear you now.
Oh, it's all as well, Rev. It's always good to be with you on yet another Excel Friday. Look, we have seen a president tweet out or whatever, social media, President Obama and First Lady looking like monkeys. We have seen his supporters use Nazi salutes. We have seen the head of ICE on the ground in Minnesota walk around like he was a part of the Gestapo. We have seen in this time depictions of what looks like hate, what looks like racism, that all of us have seen before in this country. And there's only one thing we can do to stand against it, as we can organize ourselves and prepare ourselves to be ready to come strong in this election in November. We've got to come so strong that we're going to have to overcome the attacks that are happening on voting all across the country. You know, the president mentioned Detroit specifically, as well as Atlanta specifically, as well as Philadelphia specifically this week in his conversation about so-called voting impropriety. We got to make sure that we do our work diligently, and making sure that turnout is so overwhelming that when they start trying to throw away ballots, and when they have folks that are around that are there to antagonize the poll workers, that we have our people in place. So as we continue to organize, Rev, I employ people to join us, National Action Network. That's what we do. We register, we protect the vote, we empower people in education around voting by going to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. Sign up, be a part of the movement. Let's keep this thing going forward as we are able to turn the tide.
Let's go to Deborah in Atlanta, Georgia. Deborah. Is Deborah there?
Yes, can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, thank you. Thank you for taking my call. I want to speak on the Epstein files, but I do want to circle back to something you were saying earlier when you were saying that too many of us take things as normal and normalize it. And I want to give a quick analogy to the people. So today when I was not able to reach this station, I called and I got a response that I normally don't get. I hung up, I called again, I got the same response. The third time I called, I dialed 611, my carrier, and told my carrier, I am trying to reach a number that I call all the time. I'm not able to reach it, and can you check that number for me? And that's how I knew that there was a problem. I challenge people to put two words in your vocabulary: persistency and consistency.
Right.
Stop normalizing. Yeah, stop normalizing things. If things are not the way that they're supposed to be, do your due diligence. It only took me like less than 5 minutes to get that done and me to send that message to you, Reverend Sharpton, because it's so important that we get to talk to you and you get to continue to talk to us and put this information out here.
I love you for doing it. We didn't know the phones were down. You got right on the message board. You absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
I sure did. I keep you on lock. So I want to talk about the Epstein files, people, because a lot of people, I see it on social media, not a lot, but they'll advertise certain things where people are saying, well, if they were, these white women on Epstein. People, what I want you to understand is what you're hearing or heard about the Epstein file is 1% out of 100.
Right.
You've heard all of these things. That is 1% out of 100%. And I know for every little white girl who is now an adult that made it from that island, there are hundreds and thousands of little black girls who did not, or who are being sexually trafficked here in the United States of America. I strongly believe that the same people in those Epstein files are behind the human and sex trafficking of the children in the United States of America, people. It takes money and power. Do your own homework. The FBI says the number one perpetrators of human and sex trafficking are white men with no background in criminal history. And it's not because they're not criminals. It's not because they haven't done criminal things. It's because they have the money and the power to stay out of the system. So that is why a lot of us are pushing for these Epstein files. And remember, you have only seen 1% out of 100. So you can only imagine what's coming from the rest of those files. What do you gentlemen think about that? When that's just the way I feel. How do y'all feel about that?
I think you're 1,000% right. I think that first of all, if it was only white girls, we ought to be concerned. But it is clearly the perversion of dealing with underage women or men. Abuse is something that has permeated this society, and we ought to be extremely concerned about it. And if you can't take down the powerful, the others can just hide. I think it's a real problem, Reverend Williams.
Rev, I agree totally. I mean, look, this is no laughing matter. It's nothing to play with. This is something that the right had been conspiring about, and folks on the left have been conspiring about. It turns out it happens to be true from both sides of the aisle. It's got to be dealt with, and Donald Trump, as much as he might try to bury it with his antics, we got to continue to shine light on it.
All right.
And do you gentlemen see how Trump blocked the Clintons from testifying publicly? Where they just said, okay, we're coming, let's do it publicly. Do you see where he's blocking it? Because he doesn't want them to testify publicly because he knows it would make him have to testify publicly also.
Yeah, I think that you're right. It would set the precedent that would come back to haunt him. And I think that the strategy of it shows you that not only are they try to be slick, they're not that smart. They're political nincompoops, as I would call them. Because why would you want to bring in the Clintons when you know it's only going to bring the story back front page that you trying to get the story out of? He done all this stuff to flood the zone, to kill the Epstein story, and now his man Comer going to bring in, for the first time in American history, the former president of the United States in front of Congress. That's all everybody's going to be talking about Epstein. And it's going to lead right back to Trump because they brought the issue back up. But sometimes, what does the Bible say? You're being snared by your own reverend. It comes back on you. And they have backed themselves into a corner now. And that's why Hillary, I really respect what she did. Hillary's okay. We coming, and let's do it televised. Turn on the TV set. Come on. Don't do it in the private. Let's do it in the open. Now what you going to do? Very good move.
I totally agree.
But that goes back to your point, Deborah, when you call. Don't normalize it. When they say something crazy, let crazy be seen as crazy. Okay, y'all want to bring me and my husband here crazy? Turn the lights on. Let's do this in public. Now let's see who's craziest. Thank you for your call. Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Keeping it real. Sharpton. Be right back. Keep it real. Texas have reversed and tried to turn it into a nightmare. We come to Wall Street rather than Washington this year to let them know you can try to turn back the clock, but you can't turn back time. We gonna keep the dream alive on Wall Street. Hi, it's Reverend Al Sharpton, President and founder of National Action Network. We are at the very end of 2025, and I want to first say that I want to thank all of the officers, chapter leaders, regional directors, national staff, and certainly National Board of National Action Network for a solid and absolutely incredible year in 2025. Despite the fact that we are under assault, voting rights, diversity, equity, and inclusion, the battles globally where we're seeing Nigeria and Venezuela attacked, and on and on and on. We have been steadfast as an activist organization in the tradition of Dr. King. We started the year with a national call that thousands responded to, and we were in Washington on our side of town while Trump was being inaugurated on the other side of town. And we made a pledge. We told people to lift their hand and make the pledge. And we kept that pledge to work all year to keep the dream alive. And that led into when Trump went after DEI. We supported some that were boycotting, and we started boycotting, something that had never happened. We said we're going to go buy from those that have committed to keep DEI. And went in several cities around Costco's and Sharpton. We've now bought stock in other companies. We're going to shareholder meeting and demand they continue DEI. We've had a sensational National Action Network convention covering the span of activity, from political empowerment to education, to how we deal with the black church, how we deal with black women development that has to deal with both discrimination based on gender and race. And of course, we came to Wall Street by the thousands and marched in late summer on the anniversary of the March on Washington. And people thought you could not get people out, and they came from all over the country. And we marched on Wall Street and had an enormous turnout. The only mass black march, black-led march this year. We had a lot of protests, a lot of marches. I salute all No Kings marches and all. But the black organization march, it welcomed everybody. We had white, black, everybody there. Was our march on Wall Street in August. And then our Triumph Award and on into our fall agenda of organizing, mobilizing. We've expanded. We've started chapters in about 12 new cities. So I am proud of what we've done this year, but it's only the beginning, because our very rights are under attack, and they're not even being quiet about it. They want to revoke the Voting Rights Act. Section 2 may fall with this bill. They want to end the Civil Rights Act of '64. That's what the end of DEI is about. So let us be more alert and active than ever. History will decide whether the civil rights gains of the 50s and 60s died in the 2020s. That's on your watch and mine. So if we've got to march, we have to protest, we have to lobby, and we have to rally, whatever we need to do, we need to put our shoulder to the wheel more than ever. I'm going to lay out a plan on King Day, both in Harlem at our annual event and in in Washington at our annual Martin Luther King Day breakfast that we do in D.C. We do two cities that day. And then, of course, all roads lead to New York in April for our convention. We had, as I said, the largest attended convention last year in 2025. It needs to be more this year because our very existence is at stake. We also are closing our negotiations on a new headquarters, our national headquarters that befit our mission. I'm so excited about it, but I can't give you details. We're just about ready to sign the contract, but it will be something that will last longer than many of our lifetimes. So we came alive in 25, despite a hostile administration, despite the fact that a lot of
Captain Reverend Charles Williams II is our co-host. Don't forget, watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. both Saturday and Sunday, live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, Saturday and Sunday on MS Now, formerly known as MSNBC. Among my guests this weekend, Governor Wes Moore of Maryland is going to lay out for me and the national audience about the redistricting. They're trying to chop up Maryland, the right wing, and use it as a template nationwide. The governor himself will be on about it. I'm going to have 2 or 3 members of Congress on about how the deadline now in terms of opening the government, it's been partially open. What's going to happen when the 2 weeks have run out now, right after the weekend? We're going to have them on, at least 2 of them, one Anna and Governor Moore, and many others. Make sure you watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton live at 5 p.m. Eastern Time on MS Now. And you that are in the New York area, New Jersey, or Connecticut, meet me at the historic Mother AME Zion Church in the morning. Saturday Action Rally, you heard it here, is moving temporarily to Mother AME Zion, 137th Street between 7th and Lenox. And we'll be there 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. like always. And, of course, we'll be there for the month of February. We're getting our new headquarters up and running. You're going to be pleasantly surprised, but be there where history is just all over the place. This is the church that Sojourner Truth came through. This is the church that Frederick Douglass spoke at. This is the church that Madam C.J. Walker's funeral occurred. Paul Robeson was a member of this church. In fact, his brother pastored the church. So all of that, they have a little museum downstairs. You that come will see it. And we'll be doing our Saturday rally there. We're broadcasting live. You can watch it all over the country on Impact Television and on www.nationalactionnetwork.net. And if you have not signed up for the National Action Network Convention, you owe it to yourself to do it now. We're at over 3,500 yesterday. And when I get to about 5,000, we'll have to lock it down because I have to leave room for our chapters. And I'm telling you, when I drop the names starting end of next week, you're going to wish you had registered. And please don't come up New York and say to me, Rev Mal, I listen to you every day. You got to get me in. They say this room is filled. If you're on the list, you're in. If you're not on the list, ain't nothing I can do. I'm not going to take somebody on the list out of the room and put you in because you was too lazy to sign up. It's free. There's no convention. There's no convention against the kind and caliber of people we get to run our workshops and to speak. Presidential candidates, senators, all the way down to our top academicians, our top historians. Nobody does that free. All you got to do is get here to New York and let's get it on. And even if you don't stay the whole 4 days, I can do 1 day, Rev Mal. I can do 2 days. Whatever it is, register. Go to www.nationalactionnetwork.net. www.nationalactionnetwork.net, or call the toll-free number at 877-626-4651, 877-626-4651. Let's go back to the phones, Reverend Williams, after you tell us what's going on in Detroit Saturday morning, National Action Network rally.
You don't want to miss it. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., historic King Solomon Baptist Church, 6114th Street. We signing folks up to be prepared to engage this election. You want to make sure you're there, and also make sure you sign up if you're in the Michigan Midwest area for the National Action Network National Convention. We got buses coming out of Detroit, Cleveland, and a few other places. You want to get ready to get signed up. You want to join us there tomorrow.
All right, let's go back to the phone. Let me go to the irreplaceable and imitable teacher and missionary and activist extraordinaire, the president of the Greater Cleveland chapter of National Action Network, Dr. Marcia McCoy.
Thank you to our beloved Reverend Dr. Professor Al Sharpton, and our Midwest Region Executive Director, Reverend Dr. Charles Williams II. Reverend, 35 years ago, God gave you a vision, and you brought the vision to fruition. National Action Network. It has legs to stand on and walk the walk and talk the talk of justice, with chapters in the United States of America and across the country. Radio listeners, all roads lead to New York for our National Action Network Convention in New York, April the 8th through the April 11th. If you want to meet the 97-year-old man with the mule, the one, the only Reverend Dr. Bishop E.T. Cavendish, meet us there in New York. Come on, Bishop.
Dr. Al Sharpton.
Yes, sir.
Dr. Charles Williams.
Yes, sir.
Hold my mule, my brother.
I got you, Reverend.
It is beyond rational reality for me to believe that you can spend 10 years with a renowned, notorious convicted sex trafficker and not be guilty of some nefarious criminal activity. Convicted felon Jeffrey Epstein, through his girlfriend Ghislaine Maxwell, solicited and procured young girls for him to rape and ravish for 10 long years. Throughout this time, Epstein's closest friend and running buddy was none other than convicted felon President Donald J. Trump. Complicity is written all over this hideous, sinister, evil scenario. It's easy for me to conclude that the present Trump administration knows and understands the truth of this result and will go to the length of eternity to make sure that the Epstein files are not literally made public to the nation. There has to be a silver bullet within these files that would make the case for a severe conviction of the president without question. Never will this reality be revealed, because come hell or high water, this president has made clear to his lackeys in his administration to never allow this truth to become a reality. Thus, this administration will use every way and means it can to muster and utilize. They tell lies and lies and damned lies. This is the Trump administration. They will use every manipulative trick to not allow this smoking gun to see the light of day. For example, you discover evidence one day that would require criminal activity without one iota, doubt, or dubiosity, but it disappears the next day. Redactions are rampant. Sentences are cut short to make sure that no conclusive conclusions can be manifested. In one instance, convicted felon Jeffrey Epstein said that he knows what Donald Trump likes, and what follows is enough to make you sick in the stomach. But the redactions distort the whole process. What else would you expect with a president that has an administration that will do his biddings without principles or rectitude? To allow Donald Trump to be exposed to the world for his obvious criminality would cause them to be vilified, fired, and experience abject mockery. With the highest court in the land granting him immunity and the power to do whatever he wants to do, when he wants to, and now witnessing the weaponization of the federal government, killing peaceful protesters. For a while it seemed that only they targeted marginalized immigrants, people of color, but now it's innocent white men and innocent white women. I dare say 3 more years of this total disregard of civil liberties and respect for law and order will dissipate and destroy this so-called democratic republic. There is no depth of gutter for which this criminal felon will go as a president. How sick and how messed up can a president be that is devoted to go to war with a foreign nation for killing peaceful protesters and supporting an ICE brigade that is killing protesters in his own country? What this monster is giving to the presidency of the United States of America is atrocious and abominable. The clock is ticking. And the quicker we vote this convicted, lying, bigoted white supremacist out of office, the sooner democracy will become the government it was constitutionally designed to be. Thank you, Doctor.
All right. Thank you, Bishop. And let me say we about out of time. Let me say, Reverend Williams, it is a blessing that we have every Friday to have Reverend Dr. E.T. Cavaniss, words of wisdom at that age, in his mid-90s, and still strong. And it's been a movement since Dr. King and he were together, and all the way through he's been the backbone of the movement in Cleveland. And we ought not take for granted. One thing we should do in Black History Month is think of those that made history and that still make history, that paid a price for us, even when some of us were not even conscious enough and old enough to stand up for ourselves. So I marvel that we've been blessed. God has blessed us to hear Reverend Bishop Cavaniss close us out every week. Let me get ready to go. Let me thank you, Reverend Charles Williams. Let me thank all of you that called in, listened in, you that called in and couldn't get through, but hung in there anyhow. Remember, whatever you do, wherever you go, however you feel, tell somebody, tell anybody, tell everybody. Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real. I'll talk to you